4, 3, 2.
Tonight at 6, thousands in the Magic City this weekend for none other than the Magic City Classic. How many celebrated before kickoff? Then we have an update to breaking news from Friday night, the violent incident at a gas station near Legion Field. Plus, we introduce you to Birmingham's newest deputy chief.
And we have a cold front pushing through the state right now, and usually with cold fronts we see rain, but right now we're not seeing that much. Could we have some showers tomorrow, Monday? But we're seeing even better signals next week. How much we can expect and cooler temperatures. Will we see those? That, the full 7-day, all coming up.
Live, streaming, and on the ABC 3340 app. This is ABC 3340 News Weekend.
Good evening, I'm Megan Scarano. New at 6, the Columbiana Police Department says they responded to a death investigation early this morning. The department says they were called to the 400 block of Industrial Parkway just after 2:30. Investigators say it's an isolated incident and there is no threat to the public. Columbiana Police Chief Jeff Bowers says the Shelby County Sheriff's Office assisted in this investigation. The suspect is in custody. And we have an update to the breaking news we told you about Friday night at 10 o'clock. Birmingham police say a suspect shot at a cashier at a Citgo gas station on Graymont Avenue, not far from Legion Field. The cashier was injured by glass. He suffered non-life-threatening injuries. And this wasn't the only shooting near Legion Field on Friday. 2 people in Birmingham are recovering from gunshot wounds following 2 separate shootings near Legion Field, just an hour apart. Police responded to reports of a person shot in the 200 block of 8th Avenue West a little before 2:30. They found a man who had been shot and he was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Investigators believe an argument led up to this shooting. The suspect was taken into custody. About an hour later, police responded to a shooting in the 800 block of 7th Street West. Police say the shooting happened at a home. 1 person had non-life-threatening injuries. And the shootings did happen near each other and near Legion Field, where many were getting ready for the Magic City Classic game. Police say the 2 shootings that were an hour apart are not related and they're not connected to the Magic City Classic events. And because tens of thousands of people are in Birmingham for the nation's oldest HBCU rivalry, with the influx of people and the recent surge in violence across the city, including these shootings, how are visitors preparing and do they feel safe? ABC 3340 was on site on Friday. There was a clear presence of law enforcement outside of Legion Field ahead of today's activities, including Birmingham Police and Jefferson County Sheriff's deputies. We asked people if they thought this would be enough.
You have to have just a little bit of reservation, so just depending on, what type of crowd you want to be in, what type of event that you want to take a look at. I know I'm going out Saturday, so I'm going to participate.
The nighttime activities kind of do scare me a little bit just because considering what happened at the club, I think it's called Hush in downtown. So I'm trying to steer clear of the nighttime action considering what's going on in Birmingham.
The Birmingham Police Department has shared some safety information on their Facebook, and you can find that linked now on our website, abc3340.com. ABC 3340's Austin Pratt attended the Magic City Classic parade and tailgates ahead of the big game. Many fans traveling from all over the state and the country to be there. He reports from Birmingham.
Magic City Classic is a family tradition. We've been going since I was a child.
It all starts with the parade early in the morning. People line the streets of Birmingham.
We come early so we can get us a great seat so we can enjoy all the festivities.
Then after the parade is over, many fans make their way from downtown Birmingham to Legion Field for tailgate and shopping before the game.
Almost like a little family reunion, but college related, yeah.
It's more than just the game. The food, fellowship, and festivities before is almost as important as the final score.
And so you see people from all over walks of life. You see all your friends and family come from all over the country, sometimes all over the world, to come back just for this day, this weekend.
Many people came to the Classic, but with 3 shootings near Legion Field Friday night, We asked those fans if it impacted their decision.
So it doesn't really affect me, right? I mean, you know, there's always going to be some bad apples.
And there is a level of just being cautious that you're going to have normally in day-to-day actions.
Others say it makes them more cautious.
We're going to be watching our surroundings. We're just going to be more aware and hope that everything works out.
In Birmingham, Austin Pratt, ABC 3340 News.
And Jeff Spiegel will have highlights of the game on tonight's EOG Wrap. And fans are posting their memories from the Magic City Classic. Everyone from Senator Katie Britt and U.S. Representative Terry Sewell to all you fans cheering on the teams. They're getting in on the fun. And believe it or not, it is the last Saturday of October. Some of us hitting temperatures in the 80s. Meteorologist Riley Blackwell joins us now. Riley, another great Saturday for football.
Yeah, great Saturday for anything, albeit a little on the warmer side. But right now, we do have a cold front that's pushing through the state. We did see a couple of showers up near Florence and Muscle Shoals, but the rest of the state is dry as this front starts to push its way through, and we're not feeling the effects of our temperature drop at all. We still have 81 Birmingham, Clanton, 78 in Centerville, 82 Pell City, Sylacauga, Greensboro, 85 down in Utah, 77 in Tuscaloosa, 82 in Reform. Now, most of us will continue to drop right into the middle 50s for most of us. Some clouds overhead, but with that front down to our south, tomorrow potentially could maybe see a shower potentially as well on Monday, but some better signals pointing to higher rain chances by the end of the coming week. We'll take a look at that and the full 7-day all coming up.
Aaliyah is investigating a crash from Friday morning in Fayette County. 28-year-old Madeline Powell was killed when her 2009 Kia Rio hit a drainage culvert. Investigators say Powell was not wearing her seatbelt at the time of the crash. This happened on Highway 13 or 137, a couple miles north of Barry in Fayette County. An Oxford woman is dead after a crash on Friday night. Aaliyah says 27-year-old Nina Mims was killed when her 2009 Honda Pilot hit a tree and caught fire. This happened on Alabama Highway 22 in Dallas County, 13 miles west of Selma. First responders pronounced Mims dead at the scene. Aaliyah is now investigating. Governor Kay Ivey is deploying an extra 125 soldiers to the southern border. The governor says the soldiers will support Customs and Border Protection's operations. The soldiers are out of the 152nd Military Police Company in Hartselle. Their mission is expected to last 400 days. More than $21 million in federal funding is going towards alternative transportation improvements in Alabama cities. The funds will be used to make on-road and off-road improvements for pedestrians, bicyclists, and other non-motorized forms of transportation. Some of the cities receiving funding include Jasper, Centerville, Clanton, Jacksonville, and Bessemer. There's a new officer on the streets of Birmingham, and he doesn't look like your typical cop. Well, that's because he's only 12 years old. Meet DeVarjay Daniel. DJ was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer at the age of 6, and he's already had 13 surgeries. However, this has not stopped him from accomplishing his goals, one of them being named an honorary deputy chief for Birmingham Police Department.
I thought I was a state trooper, but I'd rather be a police down here, because I get to hang with all the foxy ladies, if you know what I mean. And I got one standing right next to me.
The most charming 12-year-old I've ever seen. This means DJ has now been sworn into 905 law enforcement agencies across the U.S. His goal is to reach 1,000. The city of Birmingham honored civil rights icon Judge U.W. Clement Friday morning. An event was held at the Birmingham Museum of Art. Mayor Randall Woodfin presented Clement with the Putting People First Award. Clement has a list of accomplishments, including being the first black federal judge appointed in Alabama. The 2024 presidential candidates are out on the campaign trail in the final stretch before the election. Just 10 more days until the polls open on November 5th. both Vice President Harris and former President Trump campaigning in Michigan today. Today, Vice President Kamala Harris campaigning in Kalamazoo with former First Lady Michelle Obama. This comes as polling shows the presidential race narrowing to a near deadlock. Early voting in the swing states began today as well. Both candidates are appealing to Michigan's sizable Arab American population. Polling shows some have turned away from Democrats over the Biden administration's handling of the Middle East. Former President Barack Obama campaigning for Kamala Harris in Charlotte, North Carolina on Friday.
Do not sit back and hope for the best. Get off your couch and vote. Put down your phone and vote. Vote for Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States and Tim Walz as the next vice president.
His visit comes as Democrats in North Carolina look to break a long streak of election losses. The last time North Carolina voted for a Democratic president was back in 2008 during Obama's first presidential campaign. President Joe Biden came close in 2020 but lost by just over a percentage of a point. Donald Trump sat down for an interview with Joe Rogan on Friday. The 3-hour-long taping revealed what the former president says was his biggest mistake in office, hiring, quote, disloyal people. His comments come days after Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly, criticized Trump, saying he fits the definition of a fascist. The former president also used the interview to repeat claims the 2020 election was rigged. Other topics included the age-related concerns surrounding him and President Biden.
Biden gives people a bad name because that's not an age. I think they say it because I'm 3 or 4 years younger. You know, I think that's why they say it. They say his age. It's not his age. He's got a problem.
2 major brain
Operations,
surgeries.
Yeah. He did. Those are not good operations.
That was Rogan and Trump alluding to the surgeries Biden underwent after suffering 2 aneurysms back in the 1980s. If your schedule conflicts with Election Day, Alabama is one of the 26 states where employers must give workers time off in order to vote. That means, if requested, an employer must give the employees some amount of time during the day, the workday, to go and vote. Now, Alabama is also a state where that time is not required to be paid. Check with your employer and get out and vote. And if you're planning to vote by absentee ballot, here are some dates that you need to know about. Request must be received by next Tuesday, October 29th. Ballots must be returned in person by the close of business on Monday, November 4th, and ballots returned by mail must be received by noon, Tuesday, November 5th. The Israeli military carried out strikes against targets in Iran overnight. The IDF is now threatening additional strikes should Iran respond.
The Israel Defense Forces has fulfilled its mission. If the regime in Iran were to make the mistake of beginning a new round of escalation, we will be obligated to respond.
The Iranian government has released a statement downplaying the attacks. It says the strikes damaged military radar sites. Iran says it has a right to self-defense, but noted that it would prefer to see a ceasefire in Gaza and Lebanon than retaliate against Israel. The Israeli military says the strikes were in retaliation for months of continuous attacks from Iran against Israel. The Biden administration says the U.S. is not participating in Israel's strikes on Iran. A trunk or treat event is happening until 9 o'clock tonight. It's happening at the Fayetteville Volunteer Fire Department, and it's put on by the Lay Lake, Fayetteville, and Marble Valley Fire Departments. There is candy, coloring books, and a meet and greet with the firefighters. There's also a photo opportunity to raise money for the fire department. Tomorrow, the Bolt for Breast Cancer Run is happening to raise money for the Breast Cancer Foundation of Alabama. 4,500 women in Alabama will be diagnosed with breast cancer this year. With the work done by the foundation, chances of beating the disease are even better than before. The run is Sunday, October 27th at Crestline Park in Mountain Brook, and you can go to abc3340.com for the link to sign up. The Oak Mountain Fall State Fair continues in Pelham tonight and tomorrow. It runs through November 3rd at the Oak Mountain Amphitheater. Well, their parking lot there in Pelham. Gates open at 5:30 on weeknights and 1 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays. A free workshop on managing your Social Security money is coming up. The workshop is on Social Security, inflation, and market volatility, and maximizing your Social Security income in the current market. It's being held at the Vestavia Hills Library, November 7th from 6 to 7 p.m. All right, well, the sun is setting across Alabama, and it's not even 6:30. It's almost time to set back those clocks. But before we get there, Riley, do we have any chances of rain in the forecast?
Very, very slim, especially for tomorrow and Monday. This cold front's pushing its way through right now, and we're likely not going to see too much of a temperature swing for tonight. Here's our forecast lows across the area, mainly in the middle to upper 50s, 57 Birmingham, 58 Tuscaloosa, 57 out in Aliceville, Utah. A little bit cooler further to the north, 55 Oneonta, Gadsden, 55 as well in Coleman. Of course, those numbers can vary by a couple of degrees, but overall, we're not expecting a big time temperature drop overnight tonight. But the one thing tomorrow, this front is going to be down to our south, and we might have enough moisture left over and just enough lift to produce a couple of very spotty, very isolated showers. There is a very good chance that not a lot of us see any rain. Clouds remaining overhead for a good portion of the day. Then once again on Monday, waking up not too bad, but we're starting to see the chance for a little bit more flow from the south and east once again. That could potentially give us just enough moisture to bring some showers into play by Monday afternoon. But generally, if you're caught under a shower, at least for tomorrow or Monday, generally less than 1/10 of an inch, maybe closer to even a trace amount, which is 1/100th of an inch, but no need either to worry about thunderstorms. But clouds also starting to stream in for Monday night. But looking a little bit longer range, this is this front right now pushing its way through, get through Sunday and Monday. Really not much is expected. But then once we get past Monday into Tuesday, in the middle of the week, we're starting to see another cold front. This one could be a little bit more potent in terms of rain chances. Now we could see rain as early as Thursday afternoon or Thursday night, or even push back as late as Friday. Just remember, this is several days out, so of course things will likely change, but we are starting to see better signals that higher rainfall chances and rainfall amounts will likely be in the forecast Thursday, Friday, potentially into the weekend and then next week. But of course things will change, but the models are also starting to pick up on it as well. So all this rain we're seeing right here over the next several days, that's not going to come from tomorrow or Monday. This will be that next system by the middle and end of this coming week, which is very good news. Hopefully that front will start pushing its way through and get more of the state with that rain, because we still need the rain. Drought monitor starting to intensify a little bit. We have a moderate to dry stage of drought across much of the area, but parts of Perry, Dallas, Marengo County currently under a severe drought. But overnight tonight, remember, we're not really going to feel the effects of that front, anywhere from about 55 to 62, especially in those warmer pockets to the south and west, but still mostly fair and very, very pleasant. But we're going to stay warm for most of this week, highs in the low 80s, but a better chance of rain by Thursday and Friday. Of course, things will change with that, but a front will be on the way, and we'll keep those rain chances in the forecast.
Well, you can scan the QR code right here on your screen to get access to the ABC 3340 weather app. The app gives you access to live radar, James's weather blog, and the 7-day forecast. Well, tonight on the news at 10, ABC 3340 sports director Jeff Spiegel is breaking down all of this week's sports action. Well, today's sports action in SEC football on our EOG wrap, including today's biggest games. Well, we have one more thing before we go. Lulu Gribben is back in the water and even on a surfboard after losing her arm and her leg in a shark attack earlier this year. Now she is facing her fears head on, and she continues to inspire us all. I mean, that's just amazing. Just a few short months.
She's a lot braver than I am.
I agree. I don't know if I could ever do it again, but good for her. Well, that's all our time for the news at 6. We're back here tonight for the news at 10. Have a great night, everyone.
All right, let me.
Riley, got something to record?
Yeah, I'm about to do my weather segment for the